Yo, yo, yo! Welcome to Shoot Sessions, episode 5.
5
already.
Yeah.
Big 5.
That's awesome.
Welcome to our Shoot Sessions studio. Once again, thank you for listening. One of the things that I'd like to do at the beginning of each program is kind of, just say our spiel about how our week went, stuff like that, before we start getting into like our Raw and SmackDown and WWE. Today is Night of Champions preview, so we got a whole lot to cover. But first, we want to thank our listeners and supporters through iTunes, Podbean, YouTube. We're now on a couple more
Stitcher.
sites.
That's one.
We added ourselves to Stitcher, so we'll give you all that information at the end of the program. But we want to thank you guys. You guys have been supporting us since day one, and
thank you very much
to our podcast. We enjoy it. We enjoy it as much as you're listening to us. So, it's good to have.
It's much appreciated.
Yep. You know what? I didn't even go through our whole spiel, dude.
Yeah, I know. Do we have to rewind it? No.
I think we need to rewind it. Do we need to rewind it? Yo, yo, yo! Welcome to Shoot Sessions. My name is OJ. Alongside, as always, the cool guy, Doza.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing? All right, that was like a 3-minute rewind.
Yeah, that worked.
Anyways, but we do want to thank our listeners and supporters. You guys have been great for the past few weeks. This is just getting started. We have a whole thing, not just this podcast, but other podcasts coming up. We have special guests. We have different things that are along the pipeline, and we cannot wait to share it with you. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, we'll keep you up to date on that. Can't wait to reveal what we got planned.
Yep, got a whole lot. World domination. That's our thing. World domination.
Yes.
First off, before we start getting into everything, I would like to acknowledge that this month is a Pediatric Awareness Month. Or I'm sorry, a Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month.
Yeah.
So you've been probably seeing it a lot on WWE programming with Connor's Cure. Connor the Crusher was one of the best things to happen in the last couple years. He was this 8-year-old kid that had just the spunk of life, and he unfortunately passed away recently. And so they have this bracelet at WWEshop.com, and we want to encourage everybody to get a bracelet in honor of Connor. It's a Connor's Cure bracelet, and if you have it on Twitter, change your avatar to gold. Go ahead and do that. You can find it on our Twitter account and turn your avatar to gold. I think it's a good cause.
Yeah.
Yep. So, anyways, Night of Champions, next pay-per-view. We started Shoot Sessions a few weeks ago with the preview for SummerSlam, and now we're on to our next pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's crazy, huh?
It's already a month, man. It's crazy. So, a lot of things happened the last week. Last Thursday, we had a SmackDown. Go anywhere, a lot of things happening from Charlotte, interrupting Nikki Bella when she was going for the Divas Championship. Wyatt family took out Jimmy Uso. We'll talk a little bit about all these things. But let's just we're going to kind of get into it. As you've noticed in the last few weeks, if you've been listening to us since day one, and you'll notice in the next few weeks, in the next few months, the next few years, we kind of change things up a bit. We don't have any style here. Yeah. As long as we're entertaining to you, we're good to go. So let's just go straight into Night of Champions.
All right, let's do it.
We'll intertwine SmackDown and Raw. So we have, as of right now, we have 8 matches. All the titles are up for grabs. That is the whole Night of Champions concept. We have a kickoff show, so we'll go through the kickoff show first because we know that that's going to go first.
Okay.
So Neville, Lucha Dragons versus Stardust and the Ascension. So
yeah,
a few weeks ago, Neville teamed up with Stephen Amell at the last pay-per-view, went against Stardust and Wade Barrett. We all know how that went off. Stephen Amell did a fabulous job, but the storyline between Neville and Stardust kind of kept on going. So Stardust brings in the Ascension to team with him, and they call themselves the Cosmic Wasteland. So they were beating on Neville for the last couple weeks. Neville decides to bring in some support in the Lucha Dragons. Before you say anything, I want to give you props.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, we were kind of shooting the shit, seeing what concepts and storylines we can come up with. You were the one, my friend, that said he should team up with Lucha Dragons. They're all high flyers. Got to give you props.
Yeah.
Gotta give you props.
So when that actually happened, I went home that night and then caught up with the news and shit. I was like, oh hell yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So that's cool, man. Hey, it's like we know what we're talking about here. And it's really cool. So I like where this is going. At least a few weeks ago when we were first talking, you and I, we always talked about storylines not lasting long. Like it'll go through one pay-per-view and then kind of just get put on the shelf, or people will go to the next storyline. But Neville and Stardust is their second pay-per-view to kind of battle each other. Now they've brought in other people. I like where it's heading as far as their backgrounds, their storylines. They're both great in the ring. Neville's a high flyer. Stardust is more of the ground and pound with good moves. How do you think that this is going to go?
As in the story?
The match. Like, how do you take the storyline of what it's going? The match, I think, is going to be good for a kickoff show.
I mean, that's perfect, and I think they're all talented. I don't think there's any really weak links there.
Yeah.
And different styles. I always liked Cody Rhodes or Stardust.
Yeah, don't call him Cody Rhodes.
I haven't seen much of the Ascension, but I know they know what they're doing.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to a good match. I'm looking for like some really mixed stuff with the Luchas and Neville to do some really high flying stuff together, and I want to see like their team chemistry. I'm really excited to see what they could pull out, if they have anything creative they could pull out in the match to like get the crowd like amped.
Yeah, it's
at the beginning.
It's a kickoff show, so you know that the energy is going to be there. That's how most pay-per-views are. So it's good that the kickoff show is going to have high flyers, but then you also have. I'm just glad the Ascension kind of got something going, man. Like when they were brought to the WWE, they were NXT champions. They were, as you said before, they were longest reigning NXT champions, and then they kind of got lost in the mix. All these other tag teams were higher up, and they couldn't get their footing. And so now, at least with Stardust, you have more of a veteran to kind of tag with, and then hopefully them and the Luchas will go on beyond this pay-per-view, and then have some good matches there. I like where these tag teams are going. The division is growing, the division is getting better, but it's getting newer. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, and I'm glad they're not in like the tag team picture, like the title picture, which I mean we'll talk about a little later. But this is a good spot for them, I believe. I think like you don't want to put them there yet. Because, they're not on that level where New Day has put themselves at yet.
They're brand new. And the thing about New Day is they were pretty much all veterans, or, more veterans than the Ascension was.
Yeah.
You brought 3 individual veteran, leaderships, especially like Kofi Kingston, who's been there quite a while. And you teamed him with 2 other good veterans. So you had that chemistry. Ascension, I think, will get there. I think
so too, because I think
point.
Ascension they fell like victim to like their gimmick not working.
Yeah.
On the main roster.
Yeah.
And that almost happened to New Day also, but they adjusted.
Yeah.
And look at them now, like
man. We'll talk about the New Day in a little bit. But since you brought it up, and we're kind of just going from one thing to another, so bear with us today.
All right.
New Day comes out on Raw. Raw, this past Raw was the season premiere for...
Yeah, whatever that means.
For Raw. Yeah, it's not as a quote-unquote season premiere as most comedies and, all other shows, whatever, but they need to start their season sometime, and I guess this is the start of the fall season.
All right.
Technically, it was their season premiere, so they had to kind of go all out, which they did. There was a lot of good matches, a lot of good storylines. But if anything I will remember from Raw is the fact that Triple H cannot dance.
Yeah, that was a good moment.
If I had more time, and it was my fault because I didn't prepare, I was going to put a side-by-side GIF with Vince McMahon when he danced before with the cheerleaders, and then Triple H.
Oh my God.
Good Lord, Triple H cannot dance. Like, he has no rhythm.
Yeah, and you think you're in DX, you're kind of hip. now you're just like you're the old man now. You're Vince McMahon now. Like, oh dude,
God,
come on.
Turn into your father-in-law. Jeez. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen Raw, I apologize because we're gonna spoil the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But if you missed that part, you gotta go on Google, go on YouTube, whatever you need to do Triple H dances on Raw with New Day. That's just,
I thought that was really funny.
oh man,
Because he was outside the ropes and he's just like looking and he's like, fuck it.
Yeah,
he goes in.
Well, because Stephanie was doing her thing and she also doesn't really have a lot of rhythm. But she still had more rhythm.
But it was just
like
whatever, Stephanie. She,
and then and the New Day they're just having so much fun, man. They're just having a great old time, which. Again, we'll talk about later, man. We get excited when we talk about certain things, but we'll talk about them later. But I'm glad. I'm glad for them to do that.
Yeah.
So, one thing that we do at Shoot Sessions, if you missed our podcast with our last pay-per-view, we take all the matches on our preview show, which is this one, and Doza and I tally up, or we'll guess who we think will win, and we'll think about it. We'll tally it up, and then we'll see who gets the most victories at the end of the pay-per-view. Last pay-per-view we're up 7-6.
Yes.
We've decided to keep this going for a month or so, maybe till the end of the year, and then maybe the prize will be the loser has to do a dare or something. We'll figure that part out. What? Maybe we'll put it on our Twitter account to let you guys vote for what should happen to the loser. So we'll get to that. But last pay-per-view 7-6. So you're in the lead. I need to catch up. But 8 matches this pay-per-view, but this one, kickoff show, Neville, Lucha Dragon, Stardust, Ascension. Who you got?
I think I'm going with Stardust and Ascension. I think they're due for a win.
Okay.
And you probably need to give Ascension something. I think the feud will continue, and eventually Neville and the Lucha Dragons will figure it out or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't see this as a one and done, but for right now, I mean, the first battle goes to the Cosmic Wasteland.
Okay.
I'm picking them.
I will go the other way, not because we're gonna argue at everything, but I think that that Neville had some weeks where he would get his ass kicked. Stardust would come down, mess with him. Ascension came down, beat him up. He did have the Lucha Dragons come in and they kind of even the score. But I think that Neville and the Lucha Dragons will kick off Night of Champions with a victory. I just feel that you always want to give the crowd kind of what they want. So it's going to be a high-flying affair. I just think Neville and Lucha Dragons are going to come out of it, in the end.
That's a good point.
So we'll see.
Okay, now I'm nervous. I think wait, that's the first match. Usually the faces win. I'm like, well, but we'll see. I'm sticking with it.
Good. We gotta have some arguments because we can't agree with everything.
Yeah.
So kickoff show, Neville, Lucha Dragons, Stardust, Ascension. Think it'll be a good match. Next on the card, or next on the match lineup, Kevin Owens and Ryback. This is for the Intercontinental Championship. For those of you that tuned in last week, Doza and I discussed the top 5 IC champions that we feel of all time in the WWE. And, we had some good points back and forth. I think I had some changes because you made some very valid points. But in this day and age now, Ryback is a champion. We've talked about it extensively on how we feel about Ryback as of now being a champion. Now comes Kevin Owens. First off, I want to apologize for my misinformation last week. I thought that the Big Show and Ryback were set for Night of Champions. I was incorrect. Last couple weeks, we saw Kevin Owens kind of messing with Ryback.
Oh, thank God it's not the Big Show.
Oh, geez, yeah. We'll talk about Big Show later on in the program. But the last couple weeks, Kevin Owens kind of been messing with Ryback.
Yep.
I'm glad that Kevin Owens is getting this opportunity.
Me too.
He's had his opportunity with John Cena for the U.S. title. So, your first couple matches in the WWE is with John Cena. So my worry was, where are you going to go from there? I mean, Ryback's not the typical person that I would think, you would put someone like Kevin Owens with, but because he's the IC champion, you got to put him in the mix.
Yeah.
So Kevin Owens, what they call the prize fighter, Ryback, the big guy, battling. First of all, how do you feel about the storyline? How do you feel how they've built it up and everything?
I remember, I think how it started, it was Ryback was doing a promo backstage with Renee Young, then just Kevin Owens comes and he's eating popcorn, being disrespectful or something.
Yeah.
And
because that's what Kevin Owens does.
Yeah, he's just being a jerk like Kevin Owens does, and then he interferes in the match and makes Ryback lose, and then this past Raw, they're going head to head and they're talking trash and whatever.
Yeah, so it turns out that Ryback went to the Authority, requested this match.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a hard-fought match. I hope Kevin Owens eventually goes over. Personally, I don't think he's going to go over in this match. They built up Ryback too much, and when he was injured, they kept it on him. We've talked about that extensively as well. I just don't think that they can let Ryback lose so quickly after he came back from injury and stuff like that. But I'm hoping for a longer match. It is for the IC title. So, again, this is the second most coveted, supposedly.
Yeah.
Second most coveted title in the WWE. You got to start putting better matches, along. That's why we're both glad that Big Show's not there. No offense to Big Show.
No offense at all.
Because I don't want to get KO'd. But at the same time, you've seen that match over and over. And I'm glad The Miz isn't there. It gives it fresh in your face. And plus, Kevin Owens, you got to put him in the right storyline to, give him some
and this is probably the right thing for him to do. Yeah. Like, when he was feuding with Cesaro, like, that just went on for a while, and nothing was coming out of it. So I'm glad he's in the title picture again. Yeah. Because he's a great bad guy, and Ryback needs somebody to feud with that on that kind of level. Yeah. And especially one that could talk as well as Kevin Owens.
Yeah, for me, because, Ryback's not going to be the talker. He's done a couple interviews. He's not bad.
Yeah, he's not bad.
He's not going to be the talker. He's not going to be a Chris Jericho. He's not going to be, obviously he's not going to be The Rock. But Kevin Owens can hold his own. And that's one of the things that NXT teaches you. But Kevin Owens came from the indies, so he's had 14, 15 years of experience doing this. So he's going to be the talker. He's going to be the agitator and the negotiator in the whole thing. Ryback's just going to be the big dominant force. I just like it when they have someone like Kevin Owens, kind of the smaller guy. And he has such a finishing move where it entails to pick up somebody or throw them.
Yeah, the pump-up powerbomb, is that what you're talking about?
Pump-up powerbomb.
Okay.
So, you're... For him to do it against a little guy... Yeah,
John Cena's not little either,
But still, like, now you're going to go against Ryback. So now when he does do it, because what's going to happen, it'll make you feel it a lot more.
That'd be crazy.
It'll mean more.
I think, Ryback is, he's almost, 300 pounds?
Yeah.
Cena isn't near 300 pounds.
Yeah, no, he's not near that. But then, when he went against John Cena, it was just the John Cena, perception that
just the
aura,
of John Cena.
But Ryback's a big guy. So for Kevin Owens, I'm looking forward to Kevin Owens doing a pop-up powerbomb and just, on Ryback. That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome to see.
But then, that would mean he'd have to kick out of it. And is Ryback, can he kick out of that? Well, they book him to kick out of it.
Yeah, the thing about pay-per-views is, they're going to kick out of one or two. You can either...
you're right.
With pay-per-views, some of the things that are known that are going to happen, people will kick out of finishers, and or people will steal each other's finishers. So that's just what pay-per-views do. You don't see that on a Raw. You don't see that on SmackDown. But on a pay-per-view, even though it's a lower card pay-per-view, it'll still happen. So someone's going to kick out of something. It would be totally awesome to see Kevin Owens kick out of Shell Shock. Because Shell Shock, no one really kicks out of it. Ryback's a big guy. But you put Shell Shock on Kevin Owens and have him, 1-2 kick out. Oh, man. You build him up as a fighter. You're already building up as a prize fighter. You're going to build him up even more.
I don't know. The Shell Shock never seemed like so powerful to me. But
well, that's his finishing moves.
Well, so. I guess because he hasn't had a really good feud. To me,
you're
doing it to you're doing it to Miz and he's not kicking out, sure, that's cool.
Yeah,
but then, if you have to do it to somebody bigger for me to be like, oh, he took him out with one Shell Shock.
Yeah. I think Ryback is in dire need of a good feud, especially if he's going to remain IC champion. But Kevin Owens will give it to him, so I'm pretty glad of that. So, what's your pick on this?
My pick? Oh, man.
This is going to be a tough one.
It is a tough one. I want to say Kevin Owens. You bring up a good point that they would keep it on him. And if that's the second fight, And I'm already picking the heel to win in the first fight. Would that be
Well,
smart? But
I would imagine that the IC title isn't going to be second. Or, no.
I
know
think
what?
the last, well, unless
No.
they put Cena first and then the fight against Sting later.
I think that's what they did with at WrestleMania when Daniel Bryan did double duty.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't the very first match, but it was very low on the card because, you can't put him in straight matches.
Yeah.
As good as I think, Rollins is, I mean, you can't put him in two key matches like that. That'll go
Like back to back?
Yeah, that'll go 15, 20 minutes each. So yeah, you might put Cena Rollins at the beginning, and maybe this one after. But I don't know. You pick Kevin Owens.
I'm going KO. Fight Owens.
Fight Owens fight.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I am going to pick Ryback. And I know that it seems like we're arguing at everything, but I can't see them taking the belt away from Ryback as much as I want Kevin Owens to win it. He's a heel, but I think he has great potential to lift the IC title and be that talker. Because for the heavyweight title and the IC title, at least those two titles for me, you have to be a good talker. Because if you think about all the IC champions that we thought of last week,
Yeah.
everybody, Shawn Michaels to Chris Jericho to Warrior to Bret Hart, they were all talkers because they can talk the shit and they can walk the walk and they can do all this stuff. But like Ryback, he's just, I'm here to fight. I'm gonna win, and then that's it. Like, what else is there?
It doesn't help that he looks like he's such a meathead. Like, if he tries to talk without, I don't know, trying to be tough, it's just weird.
Yeah, I agree. But I think that Ryback will take this one, and then they'll maybe do another pay-per-view, or maybe KO will win it on a Raw or something like that. But
well, what I imagine is, okay, I'm picking KO, but then the feud will continue to, I don't know, something like John Cena shit, where KO took the first one.
yeah. So
I'm gonna see it like that.
okay.
And I even at the end of the feud I see Kevin Owens having it. Man, that would suck for Ryback though.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think Ryback's gonna take it. This is gonna be a fun pay-per-view because last pay-per-view I think we agreed on maybe half, a little more than half. We're 2 for 2 on arguing for
All
outcomes.
right, yeah.
So this is gonna be
So
this is gonna be fun to watch.
if you get the two first ones, like, damn,
Yeah,
you already
gotta-
back it
yeah,
in front of me.
Yeah, you gotta come back. So that is the IC Championship match. Kevin Owens versus Ryback. We'll see what happens. But I think they have something going. Putting in Kevin Owens is going to elevate the IC title picture. And then at that time, then you throw in a Rusev, and you throw in a Ziggler, even though I'm not really agreeing with what they're doing right now. But at least at that point, you have so many feuds now with Kevin Owens because he's so new. I think Kevin Owens will get it eventually, just not this pay-per-view.
Do you think someone would interfere, like Big Show would come and try to knock out Ryback, and then that's how Owens could win? Or do you think they're done with the Big Show Ryback angle?
I don't know.
Because the way it ended last time was that Big Show KO punched Miz, and then Ryback pinned the Miz.
I think the Ryback Big Show feud is over.
Okay.
But a Big Show Kevin Owens feud could be in the works. You remember a couple weeks ago, Kevin Owens was one of the guys that put Big Show, or basically gave Big Show to the faces for him to get RKO'd. Remember he was one, him and Rusev.
I think that was just to give him heat.
Yeah, but sometimes WWE doesn't forget that sort of thing. They'll bring up, really, really obscure things in the past. Like, oh yeah, remember this happened 14 weeks ago and I'm just remembering it now. I see them doing that. But at least it's a fresh new feud. You can put Kevin Owens in pretty much anyone. He went toe to toe with John Cena.
Yeah, dude.
And he held his own. He lost.
But yeah, he made an impression.
But he did make an impression on me.
I see him as a pretty up there guy now.
Yeah.
Like he's probably considered a mid carder right now,
Yeah.
but
He's probably around the Chris Jericho kind of area, not so much main eventer anymore. I mean, Jericho as far as like later in his career. So I'm hoping that Kevin Owens could pick up pace and get the IC title eventually, and I think that'll be good. All right, so we got 2 matches down. Next, let's talk about the tag team championships.
all right.
So we spoke earlier about New Day, how their gimmick is just kind of out there, but it's really kind of getting to people, and me included. A few weeks ago, I couldn't stand the New Day. I didn't know where they were going with it. They weren't as extravagant as they are now, which I think that's what kind of did it. But now you have, now you have all the elements of like a heel tag team, but they're funny, so
people like cheer them.
People
are
like
entertained by them.
I
mean, they're definitely supposed to be heels because they do heel shit. Like Xavier Woods will come and distract somebody, and then he'll distract the ref. Like I think it happened
this
recently,
this past week,
and then he's like, "What happened, Darren Young? What,
dude?" I've been saying this week after week, but Xavier Woods, man, is really, really getting to that point of being a goddamn good manager, great manager.
Yeah, I'd be fine if he never wrestles. If he just isn't that role.
Yeah,
for
because
the remainder of New Day. Like,
he pisses people off. Yes, they're supposed to be heels, but he's yelling at the competitors. He's yelling at the crowd. If you listen to him like on Raw, he doesn't shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
screaming at the top of his lungs, dude.
He's so funny.
And then that trombone.
I always like try to listen to what he's saying, like when he comes out.
Yeah.
And he's fucking doing that, like
the trombone.
He's doing what, the Pink Panther?
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty impressive, dude.
And that's a week after he did the Final Fantasy thing.
Yeah.
So, he's really, and then you have the wrestlers. So you have a good team. You have Xavier Woods as the mouthy manager, who can wrestle. Then you have Kofi Kingston, who's the high flyer, the fast, quick one. And then you have like the big one, in Big E.
That's a good team composition you have bodyguard. There.
And if you think about it, they're the male version, or let's just say Team Bad is the female version of New Day. I don't know if you follow New Day.
No, there was that thing where I don't know, something about booty, and then Sasha was twerking, and I was like, yes, this is awesome.
Yeah.
If you saw that,
if you were able to follow them on Twitter, follow everyone on New Day or Sasha Banks or the other the girls from Team Bad, Tamina and Naomi, they just had so much fun backstage at one of the recent shows. I think it was Raw.
Yeah.
And they were just going at it. Team Bad had the tag team titles and they were taking pictures. And then New Day had the Team Bad shirts. So like Xavier Woods had the crop top. And it was
I don't think I saw that one.
Hilarious. Fucking hilarious.
I haven't seen that one.
You got to look it up, man.
But then, I don't know. I just saw the twerk and I'm good.
Yeah. Sasha Banks is really, really, growing on me as a competitor.
Yeah, I love Sasha Banks
as a performer.
And they have good chemistry, man. Like if you want to combine them, that'd be cool. But
you have all the makings for a great team. You have, again, the bodyguard, you have the quick one, and then you have the mouth. So as of right now, Naomi's the one that's talking. And then you have Sasha Banks, who's the wrestler, and then you have Tamina, who's the bodyguard. So it's just the female version of New Day, which is actually kind of cool. So speaking of New Day, they battled the Dudley Boys at Night of Champions. Dudley Boys coming back to the WWE after a very long absence. All they want to do is 2 things: put everyone through a table and win the titles for a 10th time as WWE champions. How do you like the booking so far? How do you like how they've been booked?
The Dudley Boys?
The whole tag team concept.
Oh, I think it's perfect. I think it sucks for the primetime players because I think that's kind of the end of their run now.
Yeah, they were an afterthought this past Raw.
They're sacrificed to put over the New Day, which is probably the right move. You need that big like heel
Yeah.
team, and you don't need primetime players and Dudley Boys at the same time, and so they're probably gone. They're out of it. That's fine with me, but that sets up the Dudley Boys and this New Day for saves the tables versus go get the tables.
Yeah. I think primetime players should make a heel turn, because I think they can be better heels or more hated than New Day can. You're starting to see the whole, what they call the Cena confusion, where half the crowd is cheering for him, half the crowd's booing him.
For PTP?
No, for a New Day.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they're heels, but it's just a matter of time before they become full faces. I mean, it's just a matter of time. So if you keep PTP in the woodworks and kind of let them sit around, turn them heel, then at least you have a heel team against New Day when they finally turn. My assumption is Dudley Boys are here to kind of put all these teams over, and I'm going to say it, first. As much as I want the Dudley Boys to win, I just don't see them winning.
We're gonna make our first agreement of the card, because I was gonna predict New Day taking this, and I'm hoping somebody goes through a table.
Oh yeah, and I will put a side bet on this.
Okay,
it's gonna be Xavier Woods.
Is it Xavier Woods?
It's gonna be Xavier Woods.
It would be great if it was Big E. I would like to see him go through the table.
But I can almost guarantee you, my eyes, it'll be Xavier Woods. And I will give extra points if he's holding the trombone at the same time.
Extra points. All right, that's your prediction.
So that's my
Xavier
prediction.
Woods holding a trombone.
At some point, either the referee's going to be knocked down or something's going to happen, or even if it's after the match, Xavier Woods is going through a table.
All right, Xavier Woods going through a table. He seems like probably the one that would have to take it.
Yeah.
Although I would like to see Big E take it. So if Big E takes it, I get some bonus points.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll figure this shit out and start figuring out what the extra credit is for. But I think New Day. It seems like you think New Day also. I think this feud will go on maybe for one more pay-per-view, or at least bring in the primetime players at some point.
It got to go to Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
You need the Dudley Boys on there for sure on that pay-per-view.
Yeah, but if you're going to have the Dudley Boys in there and, the next pay-per-view after this one is Hell in a Cell, you got to start talking about TLC matches or a full tables match or something like that. You can't just have Hell in a Cell and Dudley Boys and just have a regular...
I don't know if those guys are ready for TLC matches.
Man, dude.
Those guys aren't the Hardy Boys or Edge and Christian.
Yeah. That was 15 years ago was the first TLC match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and it was crazy. I was listening to the Stone Cold podcast with Edge and Christian.
Yeah.
They were talking about it, and just some really insightful stuff of how they kept trying to top it. And you're like, dude, the last one was fucking crazy. How are we going to keep topping it? And then they were doing it, man.
But then it gets to a point where the only way to top it is to go too far. And so they at some point had to stop what they were doing. So I'm glad that the three of those teams only had the 2 TLC matches at back-to-back WrestleManias. Because if you did another one, the next WrestleMania, something would have happened. But again, that Edge spear on Jeff Hardy in the air while holding the title.
Yeah, that's
one of the.
And then they explained how it's kind of dangerous because if he over-rotated, Hardy would have gotten hurt really bad. And it was like, oh. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that does make sense. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think what they put their bodies through, and that, with a few bumps and bruises, they still came out of it alive. It's amazing. So Dudley Boys, New Day, we're both going with New Day.
Yeah, New Day. Xavier Woods or Austin Creed, as in up, up, down, down. Yeah, going through the table.
Yeah, shout out to Xavier Woods.
Shout out to Xavier Woods, man.
Gamer. If you get a chance, I'm not even sure if it's still there, but vote for him for
best gaming personality.
We follow Xavier Woods. We're huge Xavier Woods fans, huge Austin Creed fans. Yeah. So go and vote for him for best gamer personality. We spoke a little bit about John Cena, Seth Rollins, U.S. title match. Where this appears on the card, we're not sure, but my question to you, since Seth Rollins has double duty in this pay-per-view, how long do you think this is going to be? This match.
The Cena
Rollins match.
Man, because those two work really well together. I want to say 20 minutes, but then if the main event is like just if it's another 20 minutes, I don't know if he could do that. Or yeah, I don't see the main event being shorter than 10 unless it's a squash match, which I don't see that happening.
I don't think there can't be a squash match in a pay-per-view.
Unless you're Brock Lesnar against Cena. That was...
Yeah, but if you really think about it, that wasn't a squash match per se. It was more of a storyline pusher. Like it just... Yeah, he got killed. How many suplexes was it? 16 suplexes. But there was a story behind it. It wasn't just the guy has no offense and, whatever. Because Cena still tried to come back. He still put him in an AA. And Lesnar just happened to kick out. So I don't think there's going to be a squash match. I wouldn't be surprised if they put Rollins and Sting last. Or not last, but before the Cena-Rollins match. I can't see the Sting match going very long. Sting can't wrestle like he used to. He was in a tag team match this past week with Cena against Rollins and Big Show, and all he did was a hot tag. Hot tag, Stinger Splash, Scorpion Death Drop, and then the Scorpion Deathlock. That took all of 2.5 minutes. Cena was in there battling the Big Show. Cena was in there battling Rollins. I can't see Sting lasting 20 minutes, especially on a one-on-one.
He was pretty impressive on WrestleMania. So I wouldn't put it behind him.
Yeah.
He looks good, man. Like I thought he looked better than Taker before Taker came back this past SummerSlam, and he looked good there.
Yeah, you make a good point. I don't know. I maybe they were doing that tag team match earlier in the week, to conserve some energy, maybe. But I can't see Sting going 20-25 minutes, but I can see Cena going 20-25 minutes, and I think Cena and Rollins would have a much better match.
Oh, that's probably without a doubt, I think.
So that's the whole thing. It's like they can have a better match, but it's for the U.S. title. So again, are you going to elevate the U.S. title over the WWE World Heavyweight title just because it's Cena versus Sting? I can't see Sting going very far.
I don't know. If the card is called Night of Champions, you probably have to put the most important belt last.
I'm hoping so. We've discussed this so many times, and I've been such a big advocate for putting your titles, where they're supposed to be. Your World Heavyweight titles should be first, IC titles should be second, and then trickle everything else down.
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping that Sting and Rollins finishes the show, but let's talk about the U.S. title.
All right.
So, this feud's been going on for now. This is going to be a couple pay-per-views. Last pay-per-view, John Cena went into SummerSlam as the U.S. title holder. Rollins came out of it as the champion. Cena invoked his rematch clause a couple weeks ago on Raw, and I think they can have a really, really good match. Rollins always impresses me. As much as I don't like Cena as a character, he's still a great performer.
Yeah.
He's going to bring it.
People don't give him enough credit, but Cena, he holds his own.
Yeah, I'll be the first one to say it both ways. His character's stale to me. Just because this superhero thing, I understand he's done 500 Make-A-Wishes, and I understand that he's the Hulk Hogan of our era.
Yeah, I get that.
Or at least this era. But his character's stale, but I've never, ever, ever said that he can't perform. And he's gotten better as the years progressed. He didn't have this moveset 4 or 5 years ago. He's always had the talking, he's always had the energy, but he's never had these movesets. Except for that stupid springboard stunner.
Oh, God.
Which maybe we'll talk about later, which still pisses me off. Other than that, I can deal with the 5-knuckle shuffles, and I can deal with all that crap.
Yeah.
But he's bringing...
I think people get mad because he does I don't know, a lot of the same spots, which is the 5-knuckle shuffle. He'll do like his shoulder tackles.
He's climbing the rings more. I know that. He's climbing the ropes.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Doing some aerial. Obviously he can't be a Lucha Dragon or a Neville, but at least he's trying, which I give him props for. But this match, man, can go either way. I've thought about it this whole week. How is this match going to go? Storyline wise, for both Rollins and Cena, but I still believe that somewhere down the line, Rollins is going to face Triple H. This past week on Raw, Triple H was really pumping up Rollins, gave him all the ingredients to, make a great day on Raw for him. I don't see a turn, like a face turn by Triple H anytime soon, but a
face turn by Triple H, or
yeah, it's gonna happen. If Rollins is gonna remain a heel, because I think he's a good heel.
Because I think Rollins would turn face, but we'll talk more about that. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think that for me, Cena's gonna take this match. Cena's going to win the title back, and then we'll talk about it a little more later on in the show, but I think that Rollins is going to lose the other title as well.
Well, yeah, I was going to take Cena this match.
Yeah.
And from the rumors that I've heard, they have like a lot of the Champ is Here shirts printed out.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not. But, I mean, even before I heard that, I was like, I thought he was going to lose both titles, and that'll set Rollins up for a face turn. But you're saying he's going to stay heel, so that's a totally different thing.
The thing about it, and the reason why I say that is because you've had a lot of people in the past turn face, but when you have the top heel, because if you take away Triple H as of right now, Rollins is your top heel, bar none. You cannot turn your top heel face. You can't. It's like. You know what? I don't even know how to explain that, but you can't. Because if you turn him face, that would mean that Triple H has to come out and become a wrestler to be a top heel again. He could be a top heel in the background and the backstories and all that stuff.
But I felt like he was when Daniel Bryan was fighting for it, and he wrestled just that one WrestleMania match. But for the rest of the time, he was just fucking with him.
Yeah.
Without wrestling. Or like he's doing interference, or he's telling fucking Kane to go kick his ass. Or
yeah, you make a good point. I agree. Because the Authority at that time was there every week.
Yeah,
you noticed back when Daniel Bryan was going for the title. This was last WrestleMania, or 2 WrestleManias ago.
Yeah,
the Authority was a constant presence every week. They would start the show, they would end the show, they would be in the show, they would bring in whoever. Authority kind of picks and chooses its spots now. Rollins would come out without them. Things would happen without the Authority, and sometimes the Authority.
They opened up the past one, right? The past Raw.
Yeah, but that was just because it was season premiere.
Fair enough.
That's what I think. I don't know. I see a face turn for Triple H somewhere along the line because Rollins is this, selfish kind of guy that was taking. Look, a couple weeks ago I mentioned that the pedigree had something to do with some sort of turn.
Okay.
Like he could have picked any other finisher. He could have made his own finisher when he was not allowed to do the curb stop anymore. But he picked the pedigree. There's got to be something there. Has to be something there where Triple H is going to be pissed off that he's taking his, moves. Remember even a couple weeks ago where he was telling Stephanie, like, I'm the man now. Triple H was the man before. And Stephanie even told him to watch his mouth.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's going to, it's going to happen. And your top heel is a great heel. And people like to boo him. People like to hate him. So,
I don't know. The way I see it is that Rollins was getting like babyface sympathy from, let's say, how like Triple H is treating him, because he still looks at Triple H as a mentor in the storyline wise, and Triple H has lately been just not having his back.
Yeah. Very true.
So people are feeling for Rollins. At least that's how I see it.
Yeah.
So I think he'd be due for like a turn. I would I think he's great as a heel, and if he could beat Triple H and then become like super heel,
Yeah.
that'd be fucking perfect.
Well, we'll see. The next few weeks are going to be actually exciting. I can't wait to see, the next few weeks, the next few pay-per-views. There's something going on, whether you're right and Rollins will have a face turn, whether I'm right, Triple H will have a face turn. Something's going to happen. I think those two at some point will fight, and they'll have a goddamn good feud. Because those two are great workers, and they're both good talkers, and they can elevate. Like Triple H can help Rollins elevate to a whole nother level that he couldn't even elevate with Cena. So, but speaking of this match with Cena, who you got?
John Cena.
Cena.
Yeah, I really love that guy, but I'm not picking him out of my love for him because I picked Rollins last time, so I'm picking Cena this time.
Yeah, I admit I like going to live events with you just so I can fuck with you when you're doing the whole John Cena thing. So, but I too am going with John Cena. I think for storyline purposes, John Cena could take the U.S. title, to other levels. He can, elevate other people coming up, especially if they're thinking of bringing NXT guys, into the fold. John Cena with the title can do a whole lot more storyline wise and bringing up younger talent than Seth Rollins can, because Seth Rollins is still in the heavyweight picture, so he's not really defending the U.S. title. Like, he hasn't defended the U.S. title since, and they haven't really even talked about the U.S. title being defended.
Yeah, just like, what are you gonna do with it? I guess.
So
pay-per-view came at the right time, because if he held on to it for an extended amount of time, it's like, what's going on?
Yeah. So we both think John Cena is going to take it, so we'll see what happens. So yeah, we're starting to agree on things, and
all right.
I don't know how it's going to go. We have to start arguing or something. Next on the slate, we have a match that's been kind of brewing and going on for a couple of pay-per-views now, Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev. So we all know what happened with Lana a couple weeks ago. She injured her wrist while training at the Performance Center. We gave her props for, trying real hard to make herself better. On Instagram, on Twitter, she's always kind of talked about being the best that she can be. She's always a positive person, We wish you the best, Lana. We both
Lana,
follow you.
We miss you.
We do miss you on programming. She was turning into such a great she was a great talker. She was just making the whole feud a little bit better than it has been. This past week without her has become stale.
Yeah, it's
really
tough.
stale.
And how did they do it this past Raw? Like, he just came out, distracted Rusev in a match with Cesaro, and then he comes in and super kicks the shit out of him.
Yeah, he
and then they gave him like a present. What was the deal with that? So we didn't see what it was it?
Yeah, it was like a bracelet or something.
Yeah,
like
I wonder what that
jewelry.
means.
It was a
Oh
jewelry.
yeah, I forgot. Wonder what that means.
So basically, from what I saw, Rusev was battling Cesaro. Ziggler comes out, gives something to Summer Rae, distracts Rusev, basically causes Rusev to lose, and while Rusev is while he got hit and he's in the ring, you see that glimpse of Summer Rae having a present and looking out for a man, and so that's that whole like, well, I'd rather look at this first than go see what I'm supposed to do.
That's interesting.
So I don't know where this is going. It obviously changed a lot with Lana not being in this feud, but I just the little interest that I had before, it's pretty much gone.
I'm glad they added that little present thing, because that kind of makes me wonder what that is now and what that sets up. So now I have a little more interest in it, because once Lana went away, I was like, oh man, this just needs to go away now.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued to see, like, I think this will end this match will end the feud.
Yeah, this has been going on for a couple months now.
Because Lana's gone. Just they're like, all right, we need to just move on from this.
I heard though through the rumorville that Lana and Rusev are going to get back together. Whether it's a face couple or a heel couple, not sure. But I heard that Lana and Rusev at some point are going to get back together and become a team again. So
okay, cool.
Whether or not this storyline will kind of get them to that point, I'm not sure even how far along Lana is after surgery and how long she's going to be out. But at least with it only being her wrist, like, it's not a broken leg, God forbid, or anything like that.
Yeah.
But because it's only a wrist, she rests it for a little bit. She can even make an entrance at Night of Champions, maybe with a sling and cause Rusev to go down.
Oh,
or
yeah,
something
good point.
like that.
They were just making it seem like she was out for the rest of the year. So
yeah.
it's like, I'm like, wait a minute, she could still talk.
Oh yeah, and she could still talk. She's a damn good talker, and it doesn't take a lot to put her arm in a sling, go down to the ring, distract Rusev for Ziggler to do the zigzag and get the win. So I think that Lana will make an appearance at Night of Champions. I'm glad that they kept her off a couple weeks to build a little anticipation if people were expecting that. But I do hope she has a speedy recovery and gets well real soon, because she's one of the better talkers in the WWE. So where does this look like to you? What do you think is going to happen? Who do you got?
I see it as in Summer Rae turns her back on Rusev, and then Ziggler gets the win, and they go leave, and then maybe Lana comes out and then reunites with Rusev.
Okay, all right.
That's how it goes in my head. But all right, if I'm picking a winner, I'm picking Dolph Ziggler, and then that'll be the match to end the feud.
Yeah,
and that's it.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that too. I think Ziggler is gonna. Summer Rae will be a key component in this match this Sunday. Whether or not on purpose or not, or whether or not it's gonna be on purpose, she will cause Ziggler to win. So I'm gonna have to agree with you, man. I think Summer Rae is gonna turn her back on Rusev and go with Ziggler. Does that make Summer Rae a face, or does that make Rusev a face?
I don't know. Yeah, because Rusev might get the sympathy, and he's been like, "Oh, you go buy Lana flowers and all that crap," but then Rusev's still like, he's like, he seems like kind of a jerk, because the backstage segment when they're leaving, he's like, and then Summer Rae's looking at the present, and then you hear Rusev in the back, "Get in here!" like slamming on the fucking door.
Yeah, he's good in that role. Like he's a Bulgarian brute.
Yeah, he needs to be like a bad guy for a fucking long time.
Yeah.
And I don't. Well, I know he does talk like that.
He's like Zangief. He reminds me of Zangief.
That's a good one.
He should literally make his finishing move the fucking
pile
driver. Holy shit! I just thought about that right now. He
climbs to the top rope and then
360
dude. Pile drivers.
Rusev, if you're listening to this, try practicing that. That would be so fucking awesome. Flying pile driver from the
Jesus. That'd be fucking crazy.
That would be great. Okay, so we're down. We talked about 5 matches. We have 3 more matches to go, but these are huge ones. So I want to take these one by one.
All right.
Let's talk about. Let's kind of get the.
What?
We have 3 matches. Let's get along with this Sting and Seth Rollins match, because I want to talk extensively about the Wyatt family versus the Shield, and even more extensively with the Divas.
All right.
Because of what happened in the last couple episodes.
Okay.
So Sting, Seth Rollins. We talked a little bit about it earlier in the program. WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This is going to be Rollins first or second, depending on where it is on the card. But he's gonna battle, 2 guys, 2 separate matches, 2 championships. This one's going to be Sting's second pay-per-view match, I believe, other than WrestleMania. He fought his first and then second Raw match ever this past Monday. I think that Sting's gonna win it. I know we usually talk about it and then make decisions, but I don't know where else to go with this. I think Sting's
I don't know how the match is gonna go. I think Sting's gonna win it, but I think Sheamus is gonna do something. I don't know how, if Sheamus comes in and then he causes Seth Rollins to lose, and then Sting like fucking death drops Sheamus or something. But I see Sheamus has something to do with this. They're not gonna just keep bringing that up and then have him not come out.
Yeah. You make a good point.
Mm-hmm.
How about this? Imagine this. Sting and Rollins, last match of the card.
All right.
They do their spiel. They do their thing. Rollins gets near falls. Sting does his end of match moves. Wins with the Stinger Splash and then the Scorpion Death Drop. Pins him 1, 2, 3. Celebrating in the ring. Sheamus comes and bro kicks him.
Okay.
You take the belt off Rollins to kind of complete at least what we're thinking, him
Losing
completing
the belt, yeah.
both belts. Sting technically wins, so he's in the record books. And then Sheamus goes on and becomes even a bigger heel to take it away from, at least right now, the most beloved WWE superstar. At least what the people want to win.
Yeah.
Then you build up a feud with Sheamus and Rollins because Seth still thinks that it's his belt and, whatever, and he, has a rematch clause. That way you bring Sheamus into the mix, and then you have a fresh
so
new
then
feud.
if Sting loses it, like, he doesn't look weak. He still looks like he's an icon.
But you give him the title.
Mm-hmm.
He won, technically.
Yeah.
And then a few minutes later, he gets bro kicked or whatever you want to call it.
And then gets taken from him.
And it gets taken from him. So, he lost it, but he also won it. So, that's my thing. Either way, I think Sting's going to take it.
Because I was thinking, if you kept it on Sting, like, oh man, that might not be good.
Well, yeah, who's he going to battle? Like, think about it. He wins this match, goes off air. Seth has his rematch clause, but, who would Sting fight? If you ever notice, and this is what I was kind of told a long time ago, it's always more interesting for storylines in WWE if the face is chasing a heel.
Mm-hmm.
Like when a face has it, it's not that it's boring, but it's kind of stale. So you have a heel that, the crowd, really hates. And then you have the face that the crowd is really behind, like this one. So everyone wants Sting to win. Number one, it's Sting. And number two, they're starting to really kind of hate Rollins. So, Sting wins, but then what? Who's he going to fight? Who's he going to battle?
You rematch with Rollins, but
after that,
what else after that?
Yeah. Unless it brings out the Authority and, Sting wins. Sheamus bro kicks Sting, whatever you want to do that.
Because I know Sting is here to put some people over. I mean, eventually he'll have to put like Rollins over. But for this matchup, I think Sting wins clean.
Yeah.
And then probably how you said it would end. I think Sheamus has to come in and do something. If maybe he comes away with the belts, or maybe he fails and Sting has it. But then I don't see Rollins having it.
Yeah,
at the end.
I think Rollins is going to lose it. I think Sting will win this match. I read an interesting interview with Sting this past week, and they were asking him like, how do you feel about joining WWE? Are you here, to prove something? Are you here for the younger talent? Sting said everything that he should have as a WWE employee.
All right.
But I'm really hoping that he's there to help these younger guys, like Dudley Boy. When Dudley Boys came back, I knew that they were going to help him, whether it was NXT or the younger guys in WWE. I'm hoping Sting does that too.
Yeah.
Like all these older guys that they're bringing back, I'm really hoping that they help elevate these younger guys, and give them, like some credit. So, it's one of those things that I think Sting came back for, or came to the WWE for.
Yeah.
So,
and you're older, like you're not gonna be full timer anymore, but you're still looked at as like an icon, as
but you got
a really big main event. You're a main event guy still, so if someone gets a win from you, that'll do freaking wonders for their career. For
sure. But I still think it would be cool to give him a title run, or at least give him the title, have him raise it up. It's what he deserves for what he's given to the industry.
Yeah, I know. Like, I don't know how WWE feels about him or whatever, since he's he was always he just never joined the WWE.
Yeah,
and if they didn't want to give him. I mean, when he came back at WrestleMania, I thought he was going to win for sure, but he lost. And that shocked me.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, they're just going to fuck with him. But,
yeah.
Yeah, I guess if he gets that title once in his career, that'd be great. I'd be happy for him.
Yeah.
And it's only right. Like, this this is the wrestling company, and to now have a title in it would only be right.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
I agree. Okay, so we're both picking Sting. What's going to happen afterwards, we'll see and find out.
Yep.
But we're both going to pick Sting, and I think that's, for me at least, that's a good choice. So we talked earlier, 2 more matches left. I want to talk about the Wyatt family versus Reigns and Ambrose and a mystery partner. So this past Raw, Wyatt family was on Miz TV.
Yeah.
And, it was amazing because when they were talking to Miz, they still had the lights dim, and they didn't raise the lights and everything, and you could just see in the background just all the lights, all the flashlights and all the cell
Yeah, and
phones.
I thought it was cool how they only let Bray sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's, you're building up as this guy that, this cult leader.
Yeah,
I
he's the
guess.
my so I was
Yeah,
like, this is cool.
He's the king, and but it was cool. It was cool. They threw out the chairs. They didn't need to sit down. My main question to you is, who do you think the mystery partner is going to be? There's been talks. Wyatt family came and beat up Randy Orton because they thought he was going to be. They came back and beat up Jimmy Uso because they thought it was going to be. Do you think it's going to be one of those guys? Do you think it's going to be someone brand new? You think it's going to be...
I've heard a lot of names, and I think you mentioned Baron Corbin, and I'm gonna put a no on that, because if there was any time to bring out and introduce him, it was probably that Raw. But if he just comes out at the Night of Champions, I don't know. He hasn't been built enough.
Yeah.
Like how you remember, like how Kane debuted, and how they were building him up, like, oh, your brother, he's
Paul
crazy.
Bearer.
I don't know. And then he came out. That was like one of the most impressive debuts ever.
Yeah.
But that doesn't have the build. You need to have, I think, somebody with a name already. And I've heard like The Rock, and I was like, that might be possible. But would you put him in that match, like the middle card match?
If they bring out The Rock,
Yeah.
once they announce The Rock's name, you already know Wyatt's going to lose. It's The Rock's not going to lose on an only appearance, for at least another few months. He'll team with, Roman Reigns as his cousin or nephew, or I think cousin. That's all great and dandy, but, I'm hoping it's not The Rock. As much as I love The Rock.
I know you love the fucking
I
Rock.
love the fucking Rock. We're both Tauruses. He has his birthday is a week after mine.
Dang.
I love the guy, I can't see it. I don't want to see it. I think that bringing in, whether, if it's not Baron Corbin, that you make a great point. They didn't build him up. A lot of people say, who the fuck is this guy?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of debuts also were, okay, who is this guy? And then they win or whatever. And then you take the next few weeks to basically introduce him and, explain who he is. Yeah, the more and more I think about it, I can't see Corbin doing it.
Yeah, and then he just won his Dusty Rhodes tag match.
Yeah.
So
they're stuck in that classic tag team match for Dusty Rhodes. I've heard it was Eric Rowan, but then I also heard rumors that he just started, or he was just released to go to the Performance Center to start practicing again. So I don't think he's anywhere near coming back, unless he just makes an appearance. I've heard it was the other Uso.
Jey Uso,
which would kind of make sense. Jay's been out. Jimmy Uso got his ass kicked. Wants to do his brother.
Makes sense.
But I also heard a rumor. I want to tell you this to see what you think about it.
Okay.
I heard that they were going to turn Roman Reigns heel, and the way they're going to do it, or one idea that someone had, was Jimmy Uso got his ass kicked. I think this past Raw, or I think actually last week on SmackDown.
Okay.
They're gonna, and this is the storyline that was thought of. It's gonna turn out that Dean Ambrose was the one that asked Jimmy Uso to join in, and therefore got his ass kicked. And Roman Reigns is gonna basically blame Dean Ambrose for bringing his family into this match, knowing how difficult
that's
it's gonna
interesting.
be.
Okay, I didn't hear about that one.
So that's a reason for a heel turn. I've been saying for months that Roman Reigns should be heel. I think he can be a good heel. He doesn't have to talk much. He's dominant. You know, he's a Braun Strowman kind of guy when he
and
wants
people boo him
be.
already, so it just
might
help.
as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether or not I would do it that way, but it's an interesting storyline.
I've also heard Kane.
I've heard that too.
But you know, you're like, oh yeah, we have a partner, we have a mystery partner. And it wouldn't work if fucking corporate Kane comes out. It would only work if
Monster King.
Yeah.
But if you really think about it, what's the reasoning behind Kane? You know, it's not like it's against the authority. And remember, the last images that we saw of Kane was Seth Rollins basically putting him out of commission by you know, stomping on his foot. So it has nothing to do with Rollins, has nothing to do with the authority. At least this match, you know, why would he even join?
Yeah, I don't know, because just a matchup like against Strowman.
Yeah.
Because you do need somebody that could seem like
huge.
you could fuck that guy up.
I'm really hoping that it's Savio Vega.
Or the Great
Or
Khali.
the
But
Great
they weren't
Khali.
fucking with us. It was they really come out like, what the fuck? The Lost Greek was come out.
That would be kind of awesome. My second question to you is, whoever it is, would you rather see them team up with someone new or a returning veteran?
Oh, returning. That's an easy question for me. Because like I was saying about the Baron Corbin thing,
Yeah.
it just wouldn't be impactful if somebody new came out with no introduction, with no prior, like
What if it was Samoa Joe?
Oh shit. Man.
You got the Samoan. You got some sort of, you know,
Is that-
similarity.
It's like Finn Balor.
Oh yeah. As much Finn Balor's gone on record saying that, you know, he doesn't want to go on the main roster because he enjoys NXT so much. Whether or not
Good for him, you know.
Yeah, whether or not that was a work or not. I mean,
You
I really
need-
hope that he comes to the main roster.
Yeah.
I think he can excel, man. That guy is fucking awesome. But yeah,
Samoa Joe would be. I think the crowd would get behind that.
the one great thing about this is that it keeps everybody guessing. Like we've been talking about this for over a few minutes now, and
Yeah.
we can't come up with concepts, but
I
they've
don't know.
actually kept it locked that we're gonna sit here for another 2-3 hours, 2-3 days to talk about this.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm excited to
you know,
watch this match,
I'm
to see who
excited
the
too.
mystery partner is. I'm gonna go ahead and say I think it's The Rock,
I think
but I
Chris
don't
Jericho.
think they're gonna win. And you're saying like, oh, once The Rock's music hits,
I can't imagine The Rock coming out and not winning. Like, why wouldn't The Rock?
I see a scenario where they don't, and I see the finish. Well, I'll just jump to how I see it
yeah.
finishing. You go, they're doing the fight or whatever. The Rocks come in, get the hot tag, starts kicking everyone's ass. The lights go out, they come back on, and I don't know, Roman's there, somebody else is there. The Whites have another person there.
Yeah.
And then fucking they win that pay-per-view.
I would love the White family to keep on growing.
To add another, I think they're gonna add another member.
Oh man, I hope you're right. That's a great point. I mean, I'm really hoping that when Eric Rowan comes back, I still want him to be part of the Wyatt family, because they're talking so much now about Sister Abigail. I don't know if you saw the recent poll on WWE.com.
What was it?
It was who is the scariest member of the Wyatt family? So Braun Strowman
Okay.
obviously was number one, but number two was Sister Abigail, who's never made an appearance, but for whatever reason she's scary. And then Bray Wyatt, who is the leader of this thing, is like a distant third. So
Damn.
I'm hoping that they bring in a Sister Abigail type person to. I mean, I want this
Yeah.
the stable
I
to
see
really grow.
some
man.
shenanigans. Remember how
Yeah, you said shenanigans.
fucking how was it? How did it go? I think it was last year's Hell in a Cell. Somebody was in the Hell in a Cell, and it was it must have been Ambrose against Rollins, I think. And then, before the match finished, there was this ghost thing.
Mm-hmm.
The lights went off, then there was this fucking ghost thing, and then Bray Wyatt comes out and attacks.
Yes.
I see something like
I
that
remember
happening.
Okay. So many things can happen. So many possibilities. Very excited about this match. We will see. So you're picking the Wyatt family, no
I'm
matter who
picking-
the mystery partner is.
Yeah, no matter who it is. It could be The Rock, the most over guy of all time, and they will still fucking lose.
I am hoping, and this is where I always fuck up because I always pick them with my heart, but I think that the Wyatts need a win, and they're going to win it in a dirty kind of fashion, but maybe another member will be introduced. But I think the Wyatts will pull this out against the Shield 2.0.
Oh yeah, man, and they do need a win, man.
They don't win. They dominate during the weekly broadcast, but come pay-per-view, I don't remember the last time Bray Wyatt won a damn pay-per-view.
If they win this, like this feud will like be so much more interesting.
Oh man, what WWE needs to do is just trust Bray Wyatt as far as becoming just a character that he can be.
Yeah,
he can really take this above and beyond, like so many storylines that they can think of.
I mean, they give him a lot of mic time.
Yeah, but it's mic time, but they don't put him over. He doesn't win anything meaningful. And I'm not talking about titles. I'm talking about like he doesn't win anything meaningful. He didn't win that feud with Cena. Obviously he's not going to win against Taker. So I'm hoping that at least he takes this.
But where do you see him? Like, if you want to place him, I place him above like an Ambrose.
I do.
I place him maybe below Roman. But like, that's good right there. Like, I think he's even above Ryback. He beat Ryback in their feud. Like, so I put him above Ryback.
Is IC champion. I see it too. I just think that this storyline could get so much better.
Yeah.
Like what they need to do is they need to become a big, stable, big family and just take apart everybody.
Yeah, I want to see this like a new Ministry of Darkness.
Dude, and I'm telling you, man, we talked about that last week. Imagine that, basically a new Ministry of Darkness, except not eventually coming corporate. Like it's gonna be a good stable if they do their play their cards right.
Yeah, just all right. Well, I'm picking Wyatt's End.
I'm picking the Wyatts too.
Surprise new member.
You're picking the Wyatt family over The Rock. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So last match that we're going to talk about is Charlotte versus Nikki Bella. We'll talk about the match, but obviously we have to talk about the record-breaking thing that happened earlier this week. We have to talk about a little bit about the backstory on this whole thing. So Charlotte comes out with the Divas Revolution, as everybody knows. Nikki Bella has been champion for 200 some odd days at that point. We've talked so much about Nikki Bella just not being a defending champion. I don't remember the last time she's defended the belt besides this past Raw. So the recent broadcast, Charlotte would come out, talk shit to Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella would run away scared. All three teams are still kind of going at each other. So there's a lot of different storylines that are kind of trickling from this Divas Revolution. So you had 9 Divas, 3 teams. When the Revolution happened, they had a great match last pay-per-view. And then you start seeing little things. Obviously, Charlotte versus Nikki Bella. Then you see Paige versus Sasha Banks. And then you see Becky Lynch kind of, taking apart Team Bad. Like you see different feuds culminating from this whole Revolution, which I'm very happy for. What I'm not happy for is not just the fact that Nikki Bella is the longest reigning Divas champion now. It's how they did it. And I'll let you speak, but if you don't mind, I want to vent. And
oh no, go! I want to hear what you got to say.
I've been venting all week to people, but I want to vent to all our listeners and to you. They barely, if any, gave any indication of AJ Lee being the previous record holder. Michael Cole, I think, was the only person to really acknowledge AJ Lee being the world record holder before Nikki Bella broke it. The Authority didn't. The Authority would just, mention that she did. The way that it happened, when Charlotte won, and, us watching from TV, obviously, you knew Brie Bella was the one that she pinned. You knew it was going to be reversed. Mm-hmm. I didn't know Stephanie was going to come out and do the reversal, but I knew that somewhere down the line, referee or whoever was going to reverse it. And then that was going to be your DQ. Look, if you want to give a good damn match, make the match restart. Make Nikki Bella beat Charlotte. I understand the storyline. Now, this Sunday if it's DQ, count out, pin, submission, whatever, Charlotte wins the title.
Yeah.
But and I understand that Nikki Bella is a heel, and heels always do stupid things to win. But the thing that pisses me off is that they're promoting her as like this. She broke the record for longest reigning Divas champion, but she's not a good one. She's gotten better as far as a worker, but I just, it pissed me off on how they did it and how they are making her, just, I can't even explain it really. It's just, they're making her so high, up on this pedestal that they're not stopping and saying, how she's winning these things. AJ Lee at least defended her title. I mean, her and Paige went back and forth with their feud, but AJ was there every week. She would defend it every week. She didn't mind defending it at live shows, all this stuff. Whether or not Cena had something to do with it, indirectly or directly, I just hate the fact that it seems like they only did it to erase AJ Lee's name from any record books because of CM Punk.
Damn.
That's why I'm mad. And I know it took like a good 5 minutes to get to my point, and I apologize.
No, that's...
But it's
I get you.
They hardly acknowledge her except for Michael Cole. Now, AJ Lee's just a 3-time Divas champion. That's all it is. She has nothing. So, that's my 2 cents. I apologize for taking the time, but how did you feel, about what's been going on with Charlotte and Nikki, and how did you feel about the match and the record being broken?
Well, I mean, obviously, if you've been listening for the past couple of weeks, like, I clearly made it known that I did not want Nikki Bella breaking the record. Yes. And when she did she was defending the title, she already tied it. So, whatever it is, like, she's already gonna tie the record.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that you were saying like how no one mentioned AJ Lee. They were just like, oh, Nikki Bella is gonna be the new longest reigning, and Michael Cole had to say AJ Lee because I mean, in my mind, I know she's breaking AJ's record, and I'm sure in a lot of the fans' eyes, they know that too. Yeah. AJ is still fresh in a lot of people's minds. Yeah. As she retired, I don't know, not that long ago, like just a little after WrestleMania. Yeah. And that's still this year. But man, that finish. When I was watching it, like, I was not happy. Yeah. And I get it. You have the heel. You give her, like, Nikki a lot of heel heat. And then it sucked how you said, why didn't you restart the match? Because let's go to the main event that night when Sting was fighting Big Show, and then Rollins comes out, and then Cena comes out. And they're like, all right, we're going to restart the match, but it's a tag team match. Why didn't you do that with them? Yeah. I guess, yeah. And I really didn't want to believe that they were trying to stick it to AJ, but it did feel like that. Yeah. Like that they were trying to be like, you know what? Nikki's loyal. And, I sort of get it. Nikki's been there for, 8 years. She's one of the top recognizable people of the show. And she's been one of the most consistent divas. Like, you've seen, like, Emma and shit go away. Summer Rae, they go away. But Nikki Bella's always been there. So maybe you want to give her props if you're WWE. But, I mean, and I get that. That's cool. But not at AJ's expense. And especially when she doesn't deserve it, in my mind. Yeah. No offense.
And, I don't mean to interrupt because I know I had my venting spiel, but one thing that gets me is WWE is still a wrestling company. Uh-huh. They're an entertainment company. I understand that. But old school people like us enjoy the wrestling. Mm-hmm. And to put a diva, as the longest reigning champion, and only because she's on Total Divas. If Total Divas never existed, Nikki Bella wouldn't be as popular.
Oh yeah,
Nikki Bella wouldn't be as known. The Bella twins wouldn't be anybody except for fitness models that became wrestlers because their boyfriends are wrestlers.
Yeah, because I'd be watching pay-per-views with some people that I know, and then the girls know who Nikki Bella is. Yeah, and like they don't watch wrestling; they know her because she's on She's
Divas.
the face of Total Divas.
That's all it is. The Bella Twins are Total Divas. They can everybody else is expendable on that show except for the Bella Twins. You know, and I understand that. You know, it's a very popular show. You know, on E, and it gets good ratings. But don't take a major title because it's the only women's title. They don't have a tag team, you know, title. They don't have anything else in the women's division. Don't take a major title and put it on somebody that, you know, like, you know, and I've been saying this for the past couple weeks, and I actually started. Well, I didn't start, but I actually tried to start this past week on Twitter. You know, give Natty a chance. You know, and I'm speaking of Natalya.
Oh yeah, I actually saw that.
Yeah, you have Natalya who's been there. She wrestles. You know, her family grew up in the business. She grew up in the business. She's not even on TV. She's not even in dark matches. She's on Total Divas, and that's it. You know, but yet you're putting over a fitness model that learned to wrestle, and I'll give her props because she did learn over the past few years.
Yeah.
But you're giving her that title of longest reigning Divas champion. If you want to put her as champion, that's fine. Because we've had other fitness models and models to become that. You know?
That's cool.
You know, but don't give a record like that, especially, like you said, at the expense of AJ Lee.
Yeah, it's such a prestigious, like, accomplishment.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, all right. Here you go.
Yeah. Or at least acknowledge AJ Lee. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. I was just like, ah, damn. But I'm trying to look for like what's positive, and I think, the match is gonna happen at Night of Champions. Charlotte's gonna win.
Yeah.
You could take the Bellas out for a long time now. Like they don't need to exist anymore, and you know, Nikki has what she has, and she'll be cooling, and you could have fucking Sasha Banks, Paige, Becky Lynch be the new stars, and
you have so many wrestlers. I understand why they're pushing Charlotte as the first of the NXT girls to kind of get a push as champion, which I agree. She has a pedigree under her dad, Ric Flair. You know, she's more of the well-known one because of Ric Flair. Even though Paige has been there. Paige has had her championships. She's had her due. Becky Lynch will eventually do that. Then you'll have people like Emma and, you know, Bayley to come up and really take this women's division. I can't wait for that to happen because, you know, Naomi wasn't really a wrestler, but she became a wrestler.
Yeah.
You know, she learned how to be a wrestler. Tamina was a wrestler, you know. All these girls that are you know, doing good things in NXT, some of them are managers, but they're in wrestling matches. You know, I don't remember the last time Nikki Bella wrestled in a match, let alone wrestled without her sister doing that stupid twins magic.
Yeah, that shit is dumb.
You know, it's like,
I guess you can't do it with anyone else, so it's kind of unique to them.
Yeah.
But it's
done so much.
It is, yeah.
You know?
And it's like, how do you not tell? That's the one with pants, or that's the one with bigger titties. Like that's it.
Dude, oh my god, I'm so glad you said that because I was gonna say that. I mean, if you know, come on, dude, and don't make it seem like the referee's that stupid. I understand, it's fucking scripted, but Jesus. Okay,
yeah, and it sucked because you know, Flair comes out and everyone's celebrating.
I knew that. Like, Flair came out too nonchalantly. Like, if I was Flair. And even though it's scripted, and I knew that my daughter actually won and was going to keep it, I would have fucking ran to the ring. I would have done my stupid Flair dance.
I don't know if Flair can run to the ring.
Take off his jacket and start doing the worm. I would have done something, but he came down, and you can kind of tell. Oh, you know.
I don't know. They seemed great, and then you know, Charlotte, she really acted. She was like sad. You could see it. I was like, fuck, and I was fucking sad too. I was like, man, I'm like, this is bullshit. I was like really upset about that for a while, and then you know just continued watching.
Yeah, because that's what we do.
I know some people were even like turn it off.
Yeah,
like I was reading like, you know, the community, like some people post their reviews on Raw and shit, and what their reactions to it, and some people were disgusted by that.
I didn't agree with it. I mean, as you can tell, I was very upset. I'm hoping Charlotte wins the title. I hope she keeps the title. I hope Nikki Bella never becomes champion again. Is that? You know,
yeah, Nikki Bella, you have your props now. Yeah. Like you're good.
Yeah, because no one else is going to beat the record. No one. I mean, not in the women's division. You can't have title holders over
especially now that there's
300 days and
freaking real competition now.
It's not going to happen.
There's and like, there's so many good wrestlers. Like even they're gonna have the Iron Woman match.
Oh man, that's gonna be good. Sasha versus Bailey.
Yeah,
that's gonna be good.
That's a main event. I'm like, that's a main event.
Yep.
For
NXT Divas. NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah.
NXT Women's Championship, not Divas.
You're really adamant about that.
I'll stop. But yeah,
that doesn't really bother me. But I mean, I get how it could bother people because it just makes them seem like little princesses.
Yeah, but that's what it is. Nikki Bella is a princess champion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, damn. It just sucks that that record probably, won't be broken.
Won't be broken.
And I'm like, people are gonna look back on that. I hope, and they'll be like, what did she do? I wanna like tally up all the defenses she put ever since winning it.
Yeah. Because
even if I don't know how many times AJ did, but then when she lost it, she defended it at WrestleMania in that freaking like Royal Rumble kind of thing, and then lost it to Paige the next day, which I was fine with.
But but she fought. She was a defending champion. She fought on Raw. She defended the title on these, weekly broadcasts. She didn't do just like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to do the next pay-per-view, or I'm going to do Twin Magic on this pay-per-view, and then you're not going to see me until the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It was never like that.
And she was so fucking good.
Yeah.
She was like clear-cut the best wrestler.
Yeah. Well, and she had a personality that she built into. Like she had that crazy personality when she was going with Bryan and then Punk and then Cena.
Yeah.
Like that whole love triangle thing. They booked her really well.
Yeah.
And what's sad is I was reading this, whether, I don't know if it was on a forum or whatever, but, it's just a matter of time till CM Punk's WWE world record reign is going to go down.
What is his? He has something like a title reign, too, that I don't know specifically what it is.
He is the longest reigning WWE champion at, I believe, 406 days. So remember, these championships, there's a World Heavyweight, there's WWE, there's WWE World Heavyweight. So as a WWE champion, he was the longest reigning at 406.
How are you going to break that?
I believe it's 406.
I mean, even if you just said like 300 something.
It's insane. Over a year.
Yeah. How are you going to break that?
And that's what's kind of sad.
Who are you going to put up to break that? That's the question.
Well, I mean, I heard through the grapevine that someone, whether it's Rollins or whoever, is going to do that just so they can take CM Punk out of the record books. I mean, the breakup was horrible. Even obviously up to now, because you have a stubborn guy like CM Punk, and then obviously you got a big, corporation like WWE. No one's going to flinch. Punk is not going to flinch. He doesn't need to go back. He saved all his little dimes and pennies and nickels, and he has a good
Punk,
life.
Man, you got some, I'm sure you rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And, when I was watching him, like, I always just like, man, that guy's just kind of annoying me. But, man, you stuck it to the man, dog, and I give you props, dude.
Yeah, I've always been a huge fan of CM Punk. When he did the Indies, saw him in Ring of Honor. Mm-hmm. Even when they put him in ECW, I recently rewatched his documentary, and going through all the struggles. And if it wasn't for Paul Heyman, he wouldn't have lasted. But I mean, he was the leader of like he brought back the New Nexus. He was leader of the SOS,
the straight edge shit,
or the SES, the Straight Edge Society. He did his own thing with Paul Heyman. Like the guy was a superstar. And,
yeah, man, and I felt like he made himself too.
Yeah, and the pipe bomb was just that was just the icing on.
Like he was the last one that really like stepped up and like he made himself through the talking and stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's sad to think that it may be true that they're gonna one day put someone over that just to get his name off the record books. I'm hoping it doesn't happen. But at the same time, it happened with AJ Lee.
Yeah, and AJ Lee, she doesn't deserve that.
No, she doesn't. She didn't do anything. She doesn't deserve it. So, but it is what it is, and that's where we are. Both of us, I'm I'd like to think that we're both going to pick Charlotte on that.
Yeah, I'm picking Charlotte.
So we'll see how that goes.
Then Nikki could ride off into the sunset. Like, she got... So, I don't see her, like, if you're still, like, feuding with her after this, like, that's just a waste of time. Like, go deal with Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Like, or have PCB break up. Those 4 already, like, are good. Or just even have, like, Alicia Fox get in there.
Yeah, I don't worry about the women's division. I think they're in good hands. I think the future is very bright for them. NXT is doing a damn good job. If you guys haven't checked out NXT, check it out on WWE Network for $9.99.
Yeah, because I didn't at first, but yo, I love it, man.
Yeah, NXT is good. They got their tag team classic for Dusty Rhodes going on right now, so you can check them out. But that is it for our preview for Night of Champions. Night of Champions happens this Sunday, actually September 20th, 5 p.m. It's a 3-hour show, so that's why you only have about 8 matches. Actually 7 and a kickoff show match. Kickoff show starts at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 Eastern. You'll see the Neville and Lucha Dragons versus Stardust and Ascension match during that kickoff show. It has been a pleasure.
Yeah.
To do this preview with you, Doza. Can't wait to talk next week about our review.
Yeah, on the wrap-up show. I can't wait.
So we'll talk.
Those are always fun.
We'll talk next week on our review of Night of Champions. We'll also talk about how Raw ended up the next day. But again, it was a pleasure. Thank you guys for tuning in, listening to me rant and rave about about all things WWE and NXT. You can check us out on our social network pages. Shoot Sessions on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And then you can check us out on iTunes at Shoot Sessions, or you can go to Podbean at shootsessions.podbean.com. And
Stitcher, YouTube. You just got to type in Shoot Sessions. You'll find us.
Type in Shoot
the
Sessions.
Easiest one. The easiest way to keep up with us, just stick to Twitter.
Yeah. It's
follow me, Doza La Prince. Follow him, Rambless Inc.
Rambless Inc. On Twitter, I post funny memes every now and then, things that make me laugh.
I just post immature stuff. So there you go.
So enjoy this weekend, guys. Enjoy Night of Champions. Tell us what you think. Leave some comments, some questions. Actually, you can send us questions, comments, and future topics at shootsessions@gmail.com, and we'll make sure that we put you on a future episode. Doza, it was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Enjoy this weekend. Enjoy the pay-per-view.
You too, man.
All right.
Okay.
All right. We'll check you guys out next week. Thank you.
Later.